Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ogbanje Joseph. Please, please subscribe to this channel, share, like, as well as drop a comment on the comment section. So today we're looking at electoral system. Electoral system. Now, a, a country's electoral system is the method used to calculate the number of elected positions in government that individuals and parties are awarded after elections. Okay? In other words, it is the way that votes are translated into seats in parliament or in other areas of government, such as the presidency. The electoral system defines a set of rules by which the outcome of the election is determined from the distribution of votes cast by the electorates. The electoral system must provide for proper ways by which the representatives of the people are chosen or elected in order for there to be even and fair representation of divergent interest in the government. There are many types of electoral systems in use around the world, okay? But the ones we're going to be looking at, okay, are the ones that are actually very, very popular, okay? So, but what we must understand very quickly is that, you know, there are so many electoral systems, in use around the world, okay? Even within individual countries, different electoral system may be found in different regions, at different levels of government. Example, for elections to school boards, local government councils, state legislatures, governorship elections, and all of that, there are different types of electoral systems that are actually used. But the popular type of electoral system we're going to be looking at, today is number one, plurality electoral system. Now, what is a plurality electoral system? This is also known as first past the post or winner takes all system. It is also sometimes referred to as the single non-transferable system. Plurality system simply awards a seat to the individual candidate who receives, the most votes in an election. The candidate need not the candidate need not get 50% plus before he is declared a winner in an election, so long as he has a larger number of votes that all other candidates or than all other candidates. He is pronounced the winner of that election. So plurality systems normally depend on single member constituency and allow voters to indicate only one vote on their ballot. It also tends to encourage the growth of relatively stable political systems, okay, dominated by few political parties, precisely in countries with two-party system. This type of electoral system, though clearly does not represent the interest of all or even most voters, in fact, since a candidate needs to have only plurality of votes, to be elected, most voters may actually have voted against the winner, although their votes are split among several candidates. Now, under this type of electoral system also, the simple plurality, which is you know which is what Nigeria operates, is actually used. The United States House of Senate and Representatives, the United Kingdom's House of Commons use the plurality system as well. So that is actually number one. Number two, majority electoral system. Now, this is also called second ballot system. Under this arrangement, majority electoral system attempts to provide for a greater degree of representatives or representativeness by requiring that candidates achieve a majority vote in order to win. Now, majority is not, that is majority in quote, is normally defined as 50% plus one vote. It also, no, if no candidate gets a majority of votes, then a second round of voting is held, often a week or so after the initial ballot. In second round of voting, only a selected number of candidates from the first round are allowed to participate. In most countries, the top two votes, the top two vote getters in the first round will be the ones allowed to participate in the second round. So that is actually number two. Then number three is proportional representation. What is proportional representation? Proportional representation, also represented by PR, is the general name for a class of voting system that attempts to make the percentage of offices awarded to candidates reflect as closely as possible the percentage of votes that they receive in the election. So it is the most widely used electoral system in the world, and its variants can be found at some level of government in almost every country. The most straightforward version of proportional representation is simply to award a party the percentage of seats in parliament as it gets votes at the polls. Thus, if a party wins 40% of the votes, it would receive 40 seats. Okay, so those are just the major things. Okay, so today we have been able to actually talk about electoral system, and I have actually looked at it from the perspective of the fact that that electoral system is actually, it defines the number of seats, or it defines how an individual wins an election. It defines the allocation of votes to candidates during election. And of course, there are three types of electoral system which I have actually talked about. The first one is the plurality electoral system, and I've just I said that it is also known as first past the post or winner takes all system. Okay, and I also looked at a majority electoral system, and I said it is also called second ballot system. Okay, because at the end of the day, if a candidate does not score up to 50% plus one in an election, as having the majority of votes, then he cannot be declared winner, within that election. Then we also have proportional representation. The proportional representation here actually talks about the number of percentage of the votes that political parties are got or get during the election. Whenever such percentages are actually calculated, now seats are awarded or seats are given to the political political parties based on the percentage of votes secured at the polls. So those are just the major things we need to know about electoral system. Thank you very much.